This morning for you on Daybreak, got details for you about the 3rd annual Nick Hostler Memorial Pickleball Tournament starting up this weekend.
And later in the newscast, seasonal depression may be worse this year. We'll hear from experts on how you can recognize the signs. These stories and more this morning on Daybreak. Good morning and thanks for starting your Friday with us. Today is September 25th. I'm Jennifer Abreu.
And I'm Joe Morano. A lot to get to here on this Friday, but we are joined by meteorologist Elisa Raffa, who, if you missed the news, just said she's not here much longer to join us this morning, right?
I still have, well, I'll still be here through the 6 o'clock hour.
Right.
Yeah, no, Tuesday is my last day with the Daybreak team. I am headed off to a new opportunity in Charlotte.
Well, big congratulations to you, and thanks for leaving us, I guess.
It still feels so surreal to say. Like, I don't believe it yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I don't believe
that
it.
feeling.
We
My
are
stuff
happy
is in
for
boxes,
you.
but I don't believe it.
You'll believe it once you're there, and it's your first day
once you
at
start
work
loading that
there.
truck and the work kicks in.
We're happy for you, but sad you're leaving,
Thank you.
absolutely a great opportunity.
Thank you. But yeah, like I said, I still have some work to do here, so we're not going to leave you hanging. We have fog out there this morning again. A dense fog advisory continues to the east of Highway 65 and to the south of I-44 until 9 o'clock this morning from West Plains down into Mountain Home. Again, it goes until 9. Visibility is doing better in Springfield this morning than it was yesterday. It's 57 degrees in Springfield right now. You've got visibility down to about a mile in Branson and a quarter mile in Harrison. Mostly clear skies out there this morning. That's going to leave us with some dry roads unless you're dealing with that fog. Calm winds this morning as well, and that's what helps that fog develop. It's 51 degrees in West Plains, 54 degrees in Branson, and 57 degrees in Springfield. We've got some of that patchy to dense fog out there this morning. We'll find some dry roads this afternoon with lots of sunshine. So as the kiddos head out for recess, it's going to be beautiful. Temperatures in the 70s, lots of sunshine, and just gorgeous out there. That high by dismissal makes it to 84 degrees, so some nice and warm sunshine. A big fall feel comes in going into next week. Details on that in 10 minutes.
All right, Elisa, thank you. Moving on to some local news now. 2 women who were formerly enrolled at the Circle of Hope Girls Ranch in Humansville are now filing lawsuits against the facility and its owners. Boyd and Stephanie Householder are accused of allowing and/or committing physical, mental, and sexual abuse. Catherine Reed is the attorney for the 2 women, and she says her clients lived at the ranch as teenagers. Both girls allege starvation or being forced to binge eat, being thrown against walls, and being attacked by other girls ordered by the householders. One client claims to have been raped by the householder's son. The other alleges rape by then 67-year-old Boyd.
Our clients see themselves as survivors. They endured severe emotional and physical trauma, and they want to have an opportunity to share their story, not only to share their story, but to be a voice for all the young ladies that have survived this type of event.
There are 10 counts of negligence being filed between the 2 lawsuits, and you can find all of the details about this story on ozarksfirst.com.
The CDC is going back on its previous guidance that said if you don't have COVID-19 symptoms, even if you've come into contact with someone who has the coronavirus, you don't necessarily need to be tested. The Arkansas Department of Health says its guidance has not changed. If you come in touch with a positive case, you should get tested. Fayetteville doctor Gary Berner agrees. He says it's not uncommon to get conflicting recommendations from the top down.
I commonly like to use the phrase, I treat patients, not numbers. But you always have to take recommendations, take information, and then apply that to the situation that we're in.
So we want people who have the signs and symptoms of COVID-19 to be tested. Anyone with symptoms should be tested because we have enough community spread that people may have been exposed and not know it.
That was Dr. Jennifer DeLaha with the Department of Health and says it's usually taking up to 5 days to start feeling symptoms of the virus, so she recommends getting tested even if you don't feel sick.
8 more deaths have been reported in Greene County due to COVID-19. The health department says there has been more coronavirus fatalities in September than all previous months combined. 5 of those deaths were associated with long-term care facilities. Health Director Clay Goddard said, quote, "We can't lose sight of the people behind these numbers. Each death is someone's family member. We must continue to do our part to protect them." The state of Missouri is issuing new guidance on how people can visit their loved ones at a long-term care facility. If a facility has had no cases in 2 weeks, indoor or outdoor visits are allowed. Only 2 visitors can be present with a resident at a time, and social distancing should be used.
Going around the Ozarks, residential facilities will be part of a new $50 million development plan in Lebanon. 3 apartment buildings and potentially 500 homes are in the works as well, starting next year. OHM Developing Incorporated says it was approached by the city a year ago to fill this need. They will be considering COVID-19 guidelines going forward.
In election coverage this morning, keep in mind in Missouri you do have to request an absentee or mail-in ballot in order to get one. This year, every registered voter can request a mail-in ballot, and they have to be notarized. The ballot has to be sent back through the U.S. Postal Service. You do not have to pay for that. The cost to mail your ballot is paid for by your taxpayer dollars. If you are voting absentee, it's a little different. You do not need a notary if you meet the incapacitated or the at-risk for COVID-19 reason listed on the application. All remaining absentee reasons do require notarization, and that includes being out of the county on election day. And you can see the Secretary of State's office website for all of those absentee reasons. Unlike mail-in ballots, you can return absentee ballots in person by mail or in person by a relative within the second degree.
In some more local news, so far this year, Springfield has seen 9 motorcycle fatalities, which is the biggest annual total since 2016. But we've still got 3 months to go this year. In an effort to keep roads safe, the Springfield Police Department plans to use the money from a MoDOT highway safety grant to host free motorcycle safety classes. City Council is expected to approve the grant on October 5th. The one-day classes are called Share the Road. They're meant to help motorcyclists become better drivers, leading to reduced motorcycle crashes. Dates have not been set for these courses yet, but a link with more info is at the bottom of this story on ozarksfirst.com.
Well, coming this weekend for you is the 3rd annual Nick Hostler Memorial Pickleball Tournament, which honors a late Springfield teacher and his work with special education students. Nija McDonald joins us now live to explain more. Nija, good morning.
Yeah, Jen, well, good morning. The pickleball tournament, as you mentioned, is a part of a bigger effort to provide an inclusive playground for all, known as Mr. Nick's Playground, and that's located here at McBride Elementary. Now, the pickleball community so far has helped raise over $22,000 towards the equipment for the playground. Now, the tournament has grown in size since it first began 3 years ago. Hostler says more than 130 players from 6 different states are registered. The event is free and open to the entire community. Now, Nick's mom, Mary Kay Hostler, says inclusivity for all children was always Nick's passion, which included pieces for all children to experience play. She says it feels good to know his dream didn't end when the family lost him unexpectedly.
There's no barriers. They're going to be able to get right on those pieces of equipment. You know, most all of them with the help, sometimes with the help of maybe an adult, but for the most part, they should be able to do some of it on their own. And those barriers are going to be gone. And it's not just going to be 1 or 2 pieces of equipment. It's quite a few pieces of equipment that they will now be able to get right up there with everybody else. And that's the total goal of this playground, is to play right alongside your best friend who may not have any limitations.
Well, the tournament will begin tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and will run until at least 6 or 7 that evening. It's also important to mention that there will be a grand opening for Mr. Nick's Inclusive Playground on October 7th for the entire community. Reporting live here in Springfield, Nija McDonald, Ozarks First.
Thank you, Nija. Out on the football fields tonight, it's going to be nice. You'll have mostly clear skies. It will be dry with temperatures in the 70s. A look at your full weekend forecast is coming up next.